Morning, everyone. Thanks ever so much for coming along. So I just want to start off by telling you a bit about me, because you probably don't know who I am. So I've been in the industry for years now, coming on for sort of 11 plus years, with actually specialising in paid media for those years. I work for an agency called Koozai, based in the UK, who does SEO, paid media, and content marketing. So over the next 90 minutes or so, we're going to take a look at various tools. We're going to look at tools to help you understand who your audience are, tools to help you understand your competitors, tools to understand your keywords, and then last but not least, we're going to look at tools to actually help you create some awesome reports. So hopefully you may be already using some of these tools, but hopefully we're going to share with you some ideas on how you can use them better and how you can get actually more out of some of these tools. So let's get started. So first off, tools to understand your audience. There are lots and lots of tools to help you do this, and there's more and more brands that I'm seeing every time we take on a client that aren't actually doing this properly and not taking full advantage of this. So if you consider all of the different tools that we've got, these different platforms here, so we've got analytics that gives us a stack load of data. Most websites are using this platform. But the big one for me that's totally underutilized is Facebook. Facebook give us so much information. So what I'm going to do over the next few minutes, we're going to look at Google Analytics initially, then we're going to look at Google AdWords, Facebook, and then we're going to look at how we can tie all of that data together that the platforms give us to not only help us within our paid media campaigns, but also help us within all of our different marketing channels as well. So number one, if you're not doing this already, you need to make sure that you're getting the pixel for every single one of these platforms added to your website, even if you're not looking to do paid media advertising. Right? The sooner you get these platforms engaged and get the pixels added, you start collecting the data. The other thing that you need to do once you have the pixels in place is you need to make sure that you're updating your privacy policy on your website to explain to people how you're using that data, so that when people look at this and they're saying, right, okay, well, I'm collecting certain demographic information, and how you're actually going to use that information to market to people moving forwards. So that's the first thing that you need to do. Once you have this, you can then start reaping the rewards and getting all of the valuable data that the platforms give to you. So let's start by looking at Google Analytics. Now, obviously, Analytics gives you stack loads of data, but I'm just going to try and pull this back into data that's interesting for you to understand who your actual audience are. So we can see things like your age and gender, demographics, affinity categories, which I'll come on to explain shortly, in-market segments, and also location. And you can see this data for every single website visitor that comes to the site. So not just segments of people, but every single person that hits the website, you can start collecting this data on. In order to do this, you need to make sure when you click into Google Analytics, if you click into the audience tab, and then you click into one of the demographic reports, if you don't have this enabled, you have to enable it yourself. It's not something that will automatically enable. So you come in here, and if you don't see any data, you need to click on the enable screen. But do make sure that you're updating the privacy policy before you do that, because you explicitly need to tell people how you're collecting this data. Once you've done that, you get access to lots and lots of information. So we can see things like the age and gender breakdown of our audience. And imagine if you're an e-com business and you're looking here and you're seeing where their actual revenue is coming from for the business. And you're thinking, right, if you've got stakeholders that are saying, oh, my core audiences are aged between X and X and they're male, this data actually tells you whether or not that's true. It backs up that statement. And you can start to understand what age and what gender actually generates the highest amount of revenue for you, or which age and gender generates the highest number of leads. So that's one thing that you can see. Affinity categories is something that's quite underutilized, in my opinion. So affinity categories, Google will tell you the other sites and the other types of content that your customers browse before they come onto your website and after they leave from your website. So you can start to see the type of content, the type of topics your audience are interested in. So in this particular example here, we can see that this audience that spend the most money on this website are TV lovers and movie lovers. So it starts to give you a bit of an insight into what age they are, gender, and the types of content that they like. And again, you can segment, you can sort this down by revenue, by transactions, by leads, by number of sessions, so you can start to look at the data in this sense. Google also tell us what our customers are in market for, so what our customers are looking to purchase from other sites. So if you imagine how many sites have got Google Analytics data, Google Analytics tracking on the website, from here we can start to see that this particular segment of audience